Water in the Middle East, and in Israel in particular, is a miracle. And Israel has vast technological abilities and can provide this necessity to us and to the entire region.
While nations worldwide struggle with droughts and depleting reservoirs, Israel has done something unthinkable. They've built a colossal water highway that defies nature itself. But how did they turn an arid landscape into a water surplus powerhouse? And what groundbreaking engineering marvel is now rewriting the rules of water sustainability, not just for Israel, but possibly the entire world? This mind-blowing project is already making waves, but its true impact is just beginning. Stick around, because what you're about to discover might just reshape the future of water forever. Israel's unique challenges. Water scarcity is one of the most pressing challenges of the 21st century, affecting billions of people worldwide. As populations grow and climate change intensifies, securing reliable and sustainable water sources has become a top priority for many nations. In arid and semi-arid regions, where rainfall is minimal and water resources are scarce, the challenge is even greater. Israel, located in one of the driest regions in the world, has faced a chronic shortage of water since its establishment in 1948. However, while many countries continue to struggle with water security, Israel has managed to turn its situation around through innovation and strategic planning. Israel's water scarcity issue is deeply rooted in its geography and climate. The country receives very little rainfall, with the southern Negev desert experiencing almost none at all. In the early years after Israel's independence, this lack of water posed a severe threat to national development, agriculture, and population growth. The arrival of large waves of Jewish immigrants in the mid-20th century placed additional stress on Israel's already limited water resources, making it clear that urgent and innovative solutions were needed. By the 1950s, the situation had become critical, prompting the government to take drastic measures to secure the nation's water supply. Israel's natural water resources were still not enough to sustain its growing population and agricultural sector. New technologies were being harnessed for desalination, wastewater recycling, and modern irrigation methods as Israel enlarged its water security policy. Presently, Israel, by producing 20% more water than it actually needs, is among the few nations that have ever completely solved a water crisis. Having gained water independence, the nation became a worldwide trendsetter in water technologies, selling its expertise to other countries grappling with similar problems. Israel's success is a testimony to the global community's conviction that even the most water-scarce nations can achieve sustainability based on innovation and wise investments. With water running out and no easy solution in sight, Israel had two choices: struggle or innovate. It chose the unthinkable. The birth of Israel's water revolution. From its very inception in 1948, Israel faced an acute water crisis that threatened its survival and development. With a rapidly growing population due to waves of Jewish immigrants, the demand for water far exceeded the country's natural supply. By the 1950s, water shortages had reached critical levels, placing immense pressure on agriculture, industry, and daily life. The need for a large-scale, long-term solution became undeniable, pushing Israel to take bold steps in securing its water future. The nation understood early on that without water security, economic growth and stability would be impossible, making water management a top national priority. The foundations of Israel's water revolution can be traced back to an idea first proposed in 1937 by American engineer Walter Clay Loudermilk. He suggested diverting water from the Jordan River and its tributaries to the arid Negev desert in the south, an ambitious plan that would ensure even the driest parts of Israel had access to water. Although geopolitical conflicts and World War II delayed its implementation, the newly independent Israeli government revived the concept, recognizing its potential to transform the country's water landscape. Following Israel's independence in 1948, the government began laying the groundwork for what would become one of the most significant water infrastructure projects in the world, the National Water Carrier. The National Water Carrier, an engineering wonder envisaged to transport water from the northern end of the Sea of Galilee, where it was comparatively rainy, to the water-scarce southern areas would create deep financial debt for Israel. But without this project, Israel would perish. Since 1953, the construction scheme for this project under Mekorot, Israel's national water company, involved an elaborate Baroque design consisting of canals, tunnels, reservoirs, and pumping stations. By the time the national water carrier reached its final stage, it developed a lifeline distribution network of water across the country to sustain agriculture, industry, and urban populations in the dry areas. But Israel's water revolution did not stop with the national water carrier. It shortly became clear that any continued reliance on surface water and rain could not keep up with rising demands. Therefore, Israel began investing in, and later became a world leader in, technologies such as desalination and wastewater recycling. This technological advancement, combined with official policies promoting conservation and efficient use of water, enabled Israel to move from a country barely hanging on to water scarcity to one producing it beyond its normal requirements. Thus, the initiation of the water revolution not only saved Israel's future, but also set an example for other water-poor nations towards sustainable development. A mega infrastructure project. The National Water Carrier stands as one of Israel's most ambitious and transformative infrastructure projects, fundamentally reshaping the country's water landscape. Initiated in the early 1950s, this massive undertaking was designed to transport water from the Sea of Galilee in the north, where rainfall is more abundant, to the arid central and southern regions of the country, including the Negev Desert. Before its construction, much of Israel's water supply was unevenly distributed, with severe shortages threatening agriculture and daily life in many areas. The project was seen as essential to the country's survival, as it would enable large-scale farming, support urban development, and provide water security to the growing population. Engineering the national water carrier was a monumental challenge, requiring the construction of an extensive 130-kilometer-long system consisting of canals, tunnels, pipelines, reservoirs, and pumping stations. Mekorot, Israel's national water company, led the construction effort, which began in 1953. One of the most impressive aspects of the system was its ability to transport water across significant elevations. At its starting point, near the Sea of Galilee, powerful pumps lifted the water more than 200 meters above sea level, before sending it southward through a network of tunnels and aqueducts. One of the most notable sections of the carrier was the Esh Tunnel, which spanned 17 kilometers and was the longest water tunnel in the world at the time of its completion. The construction of the national water carrier was a major venture in engineering because, for the first time, ecological concerns were taken into consideration in its design. Among many such considerations was protecting the fragile ecology of the lake and river systems feeding the Sea of Galilee. Proper control of the water extraction regime was established for this project so that at no time was water drawn out at a rate that would endanger the replenishment of the lake's natural capacities. Water underwent treatment and filtration at various stages so as to meet high standards, thus rendering it amenable to agricultural or domestic usage. The project went operational in June 1964 at an estimated cost of 420 million Israeli lira, which puts this investment at about $1.1 billion in today's terms. While exorbitant, this investment was a necessity and saved a country. The national water carrier, when completed, was intended to allocate 80% of its waters for agricultural use and 20% for domestic use. With a growing population and expanding urbanization, increasingly more has since been diverted for domestic and industrial uses. By the 1990s, nearly half of the drinking water in Israel was supplied through the system. The carrier also became central to water diplomacy in the region, where Israel started to supply water to Jordan under the 1994 peace agreement of both countries. Meanwhile, as Israel began to develop its alternative sources of water, such as desalination and wastewater recycling, the role of the national water carrier underwent transformation, but its influence on the development of the country was unmatched. The project saved Israel's water supply and also proved to be a successful story of innovation and long-term planning triumphing over extreme water scarcity, turning seawater into fresh water. As Israel's population grew and climate change led to prolonged droughts, it became clear that relying on natural water sources alone was not a sustainable solution. By the early 2000s, water shortages had reached critical levels, pushing Israel to explore alternative water sources. One of the most revolutionary solutions the country adopted was desalination, the process of removing salt and minerals from seawater to make it suitable for drinking and agriculture. While desalination had been studied in Israel as early as the 1960s, it was not until the early 2000s that technological advancements made it efficient and cost-effective enough for large-scale implementation. The breakthrough came with the construction of the Ashkelon desalination plant, which was one of the largest in the world when it was completed. Using reverse osmosis technology, the plant was able to produce large quantities of fresh water from the Mediterranean Sea at a relatively low cost. Encouraged by this success, Israel quickly expanded its desalination capabilities by building additional plants along its coastline. Today, the country operates several large desalination plants, including those in Hadera, Sorek, and Ashdod. Together, these plants produce approximately 600 million cubic meters of fresh water annually, which now accounts for about 80% of Israel's domestic drinking water supply. One of the reasons for the great success of the desalination process in Israel is its efficiency. While conventional methods of desalination were expensive and energy-consuming, Israel has developed advanced reverse osmosis techniques to considerably reduce energy consumption. The country also focused on optimizing water transportation infrastructure so that desalinated water could smoothly penetrate the existing supply chain. Another great innovation that emerged was the pre-treatment process, extending the life of desalination membranes and further reducing maintenance costs, which improved the economic feasibility of the entire process. Standing out as a historical milestone in 2022 is the first ever unique initiative ever in the whole history of desalination into the replenishment of the Sea of Galilee with desalinated water. This was a very vital milestone where desalinated water was put to use, rehabilitating not just consumptive and agricultural uses, but also ensuring replenishment of a natural freshwater reservoir. Through the underlake pipeline, desalinated water was laid to transport to maintain levels of the lake during drought years. The project shows an extraordinary possibility of desalination in alleviating the shortage of water being rehabilitated and sustaining natural ecosystems. Thus, Israel's vision has so far become a reference to the rest of the world, with water-scarce countries like India, China, and Australia trying to induce similar technology. Refilling the Sea of Galilee. The Sea of Galilee has historically been one of Israel's most important natural water sources, supplying fresh water to millions of people and supporting agriculture in the region. However, in recent years, climate change and prolonged droughts have caused water levels in the lake to drop to dangerously low levels. By 2017, the situation had reached a crisis point, with water levels at historic lows, raising concerns about long-term sustainability. The government realized that immediate action was needed to prevent ecological damage and ensure the Sea of Galilee remained a viable water source for future generations. In response, Israel launched a groundbreaking initiative to refill the Sea of Galilee using desalinated water from the Mediterranean Sea. This marked a historic first. Never before had desalinated seawater been used to replenish a freshwater lake on such a large scale. The project involved constructing a 13-kilometer-long underground pipeline that connects the lake to Israel's extensive water infrastructure, which is linked to multiple desalination plants along the Mediterranean coast. This system allows desalinated water to be pumped into the lake during dry years, stabilizing water levels and ensuring that the Sea of Galilee remains a strategic water reserve for the country. Phase 1 of the project was completed in 2022. Thus, Israel can now refill the lake with desalinated water, considering its needs. Future phases of the project will increase capacity by developing other desalination plants and allowing supplies from underground wells in the northern region. This multi-pronged approach guarantees that even with the most severe droughts, the Sea of Galilee will be kept at sustainable levels. It is indicative of Israel's dedication to keeping innovations within the long-term agenda for its water security, showing that advancements in technology can contribute not only to consumption, but also to the restoration of the environment. The implications of this groundbreaking project stretch far beyond the borders of Israel. Countries have increasingly resorted to out-of-the-box solutions to deal with water scarcity, and the fate of Israel's Sea of Galilee refilling project has turned the country into one of the leading role models for water conservation in the region. Through this very case, inspired by examples from Israel, countries worldwide are now saying desalinated water could also restore natural freshwater sources. This project provides solutions for securing the future for waters in Israel and sets a benchmark for other water-scarce regions that aspire to simultaneously meet human needs and environmental conservation. Solving water scarcity wasn't just about adding more, it was about making every drop count. But how do you turn used water into a lifeline? Wastewater recycling. With natural freshwater resources limited and demand continuing to grow, Israel recognized early on that conservation alone would not be enough to secure its water future. Instead of letting wastewater go to waste, Israel pioneered one of the most advanced wastewater recycling systems in the world. Today, over 90% of the country's wastewater is treated and reused, making Israel the global leader in wastewater recycling. The majority of this recycled water is used for agriculture, allowing farmers to irrigate their crops without relying on precious freshwater reserves. This innovative approach has not only helped Israel overcome water scarcity, but has also set an example for other nations looking to maximize their water efficiency. At the heart of Israel's wastewater recycling system is the Shafdan wastewater treatment plant located in the Dan region near Tel Aviv. This state-of-the-art facility treats sewage water from millions of residents, purifying it through a multi-stage filtration and biological treatment process. The treated water, known as effluent, is then transported to the Negev desert, where it is used to irrigate crops. By reusing wastewater, Israel has been able to sustain its agricultural sector even in arid regions, proving that high agricultural output can be maintained without depleting natural water sources. This system has also significantly reduced pollution, ensuring that untreated wastewater does not contaminate the environment. However, the other benefits are not simply related to agriculture, and thus, wastewater may reduce some stress on freshwater sources through wastewater treatment and reuse, putting less pressure on the Sea of Galilee and the underground aquifers, thus preserving these as sources for drinking water and domestic use. Wastewater recycling carries with it the concept of a resilient water supply during climate change, not only because it provides a steady and reliable supply of water during troublesome times of drought. Effective systems have translated into lesser costs, making water cheaper for the household and industrial sectors. Improvements in wastewater treatment techniques are continuously being invested in through research and technology for efficiency and water quality in Israel. Israel has caught global attention for its remarkable feat in recycling wastewater for agriculture, and many countries are keen on acquiring Israeli expertise. Countries affected by drought, in particular, have been looking towards Israel's model for answers to their water problems due to glaring water scarcity issues. For sure, Israel has changed the negative mindset against wastewater as nothing but a waste by showing its hygienic treatment, safe applications, and large-scale recycling. Rather, it has been established that with appropriate technology and infrastructure, efficient utilization of water is a feasible goal, thus assuring long-term water security for the generations to come. Revolutionizing agriculture. Israel's arid climate and chronic water shortages made traditional irrigation methods inefficient and unsustainable for large-scale farming. In response, Israeli engineers and scientists developed drip irrigation, a revolutionary technology that has transformed agriculture not only in Israel, but across the world. Unlike conventional irrigation techniques, which involve flooding fields or spraying water over crops, resulting in significant water loss, drip irrigation delivers small, precise amounts of water directly to the roots of plants through a network of tubes, valves, and drippers. This ensures that crops receive the exact amount of water they need without waste, maximizing efficiency and productivity. Drip irrigation was pioneered in the 1960s by Israeli agronomist Simcha Blas and his son, who discovered that plants could grow efficiently when watered slowly and steadily. Their invention laid the foundation for Netafim, the Israeli company that became the world's leader in drip irrigation technology. The system significantly reduces water consumption while increasing agricultural yields, allowing farmers to grow more food using less water. This has been particularly crucial for Israel, where agriculture plays a vital role in the economy and water resources are scarce. Thanks to drip irrigation, Israel has been able to sustain its farms in desert regions, turning barren landscapes into productive farmland. Large-scale evaporation and outflow are perhaps the greatest assets of drip irrigation. Conventional irrigation methods lose water by means of solar heat or wind, while drip irrigation is so efficient that nearly 95% of applied water will enter the plant. Drip irrigation, therefore, becomes a boon for arid regions where water conservation is a crucial issue. It allows working directly with fertilizers in the irrigation system, termed fertigation, to boost crop growth and restrain environmental encroachment. Precise water and nutrient applications yield better crop output, soil health improvement, and lesser use of chemical fertilizers, thus giving agriculture a high productivity and sustainability axis. Beyond Israel, drip irrigation has found its way across the globe, assisting water-scarce nations to rethink agricultural development patterns. Currently, it is practiced in various regions, including California, India, China, and Africa, where food production is threatened by water scarcity. Israel plans to keep developing and advancing this technology while combining uptake with artificial intelligence and smart sensors for water conservation optimization. By changing and completely revolutionizing the way crops are irrigated, Israel has established that agriculture can thrive in the worst of conditions with innovation, efficiency, and sustainability. Drip irrigation is counted among the top contributions of Israel to worldwide water management, and it exemplifies to the world how a nation with low water availability can become a leader in sustainable agriculture. Regional water diplomacy. Despite its own water challenges, Israel has emerged as a key player in regional water diplomacy, using its expertise in water management to foster cooperation with neighboring countries. One of the most significant milestones in this effort was the 1994 peace agreement between Israel and Jordan, which included a provision for Israel to supply water to Jordan. Under the agreement, Israel initially provided 50 million cubic meters of water per year to Jordan, helping to alleviate water scarcity in the resource-strained nation. Recognizing the growing demand, this amount was later doubled to 100 million cubic meters in 2021, reinforcing Israel's commitment to regional water stability. Jordan, one of the driest countries in the world, relies heavily on water imports to sustain its population and agricultural sector. The Sea of Galilee has become a critical source of water for Jordan, highlighting the importance of Israel's advancements in water technology and infrastructure. Through its desalination projects and efficient water allocation strategies, Israel has been able to produce surplus water and share it with its neighbors. A remarkable achievement for a country that once faced severe water shortages itself. This water-sharing arrangement has strengthened diplomatic ties between the two nations, demonstrating how water can serve as a tool for peace and cooperation in a historically tense region. Israel has entered into additional agreements, hot on the heels of Jordan, concerning the sharing of water resources and the fostering of infrastructure with Palestinian territories. While water access can be complicated and politically charged, Israel has provided treated water to Palestinian communities and has been working on upgrading water infrastructure in some places. Israeli companies have also collaborated with many countries in the Middle East and Africa to export desalination and irrigation technologies, enabling other water-scarce regions to find sustainable solutions. Besides enhancing water security, these projects double as confidence-building measures that can lay the ground for wider and deeper regional cooperation. Israel's water management and sharing model offers context abroad, as it serves as a good example of regional cooperation with areas afflicted by transboundary water conflicts. Water shortage and stress due to climate change highlight the urgent need to turn the management of natural resources and cooperation between these countries on their head. Crisis created in Israel was turned into an opportunity for regional diplomacy, whereby water was, for once, used to convey the message that there can be peace and not war over this scarce resource. Future innovations in water technology. As climate change continues to intensify and global water demand rises, Israel remains at the forefront of developing new water technologies to ensure long-term sustainability. Having already mastered desalination, wastewater recycling, and drip irrigation, the country is now investing in next-generation water solutions to further enhance efficiency, reduce costs, and minimize environmental impact. Among the most promising innovations is solar-powered desalination, which seeks to address the high energy consumption associated with traditional desalination processes. By harnessing solar energy, Israel aims to make desalination even more sustainable and cost-effective, reducing dependence on fossil fuels while expanding access to clean water. Another groundbreaking technology being explored is atmospheric water generation, which extracts moisture from the air and converts it into drinkable water. This method has the potential to provide water in remote and arid regions where traditional sources are unavailable. Israeli startups are developing compact and scalable atmospheric water generators that could supply homes, businesses, and even military operations in dry climates. If successfully implemented on a large scale, this technology could become a game-changer for water-scarce nations that lack access to conventional water sources. Artificial intelligence and smart sensors find another application in water management and conservation in Israel, where these technologies serve to ameliorate distribution and conservation alike. AI algorithms collectively analyze climate patterns, water consumption trends, and soil moisture levels for optimizing the efficiency of water distribution to minimize waste and improve agricultural productivity. Smart irrigation systems with real-time sensor applications regulate water flow based on crop needs and ambient conditions, allowing for precision farming. Not only do these innovations help conserve water, but they also protect food security, in that agriculture must also ensure production during difficult climatic circumstances. Among Israel's international developmental partnerships is collaboration to share these water technologies developed in Israel for the formulation of tailored solutions for regions facing water scarcity. Israeli companies are working with India, China, Australia, and the USA to implement desalination plants, wastewater recycling, and efficient irrigation. Research is also carrying on new filtration techniques, bioengineered methods for water purification, and improved wastewater treatment processes. In this way, Israel stays at the cutting edge of water technology, securing its own future and also letting itself shape world solutions to water sustainability, building up an environmental challenge. Cutting-edge technology is reshaping the way we think about water. But can the rest of the world follow Israel's lead? Can the world replicate its success? Israel's remarkable transformation from a water-scarce nation to a global leader in water management offers valuable lessons for countries facing similar challenges. The country's success is not merely the result of technological advancements, but also a combination of strategic planning, strong government policies, and a national culture of water conservation. Unlike many nations that react to water shortages only in times of crisis, Israel took a proactive approach, investing in large-scale infrastructure projects such as the National Water Carrier and pioneering desalination and wastewater recycling before its water scarcity reached a breaking point. This long-term vision has allowed Israel to produce 20% more water than it needs, a feat that seemed unimaginable decades ago. One of the key takeaways from Israel's water revolution is the importance of diversifying water sources. Instead of relying solely on rainfall and natural reservoirs, Israel embraced desalination, wastewater recycling, and advanced irrigation techniques to maximize every drop of water available. Today, 80% of Israel's drinking water comes from desalination, and 90% of its wastewater is recycled, making the country less vulnerable to climate change and droughts. Nations facing water scarcity can adopt similar strategies by investing in desalination plants, improving wastewater treatment facilities, and modernizing agricultural irrigation systems to reduce water waste. Yet imitating Israel's success must be more than a technical exercise. Governance, investment, and public awareness must also be present. The role of government was vital in Israel, funding major projects, enforcing strict water regulations, and instilling water-saving activities among their citizens. Education campaigns made Israelis, from early childhood on, aware of the value of water, developing a mindset of efficiency and innovation. The political will, financial resources, and regulatory environment to support such large-scale solutions usually are missing in the countries that are suffering from water shortages. National governments wishing sincerely to emulate Israel's model should begin the endeavor by treating water management as a national security issue and formulating policies pertaining to encouraging innovation, investments, and sustainable water use. Israel is not without its water management issues, especially regarding climate change and the geopolitical struggles that surround shared water resources. Nevertheless, ongoing research and innovation grant Israel the foresight to overcome the challenges lying ahead in the water sector. The world shall learn from Israel's spirit of continuous adaptation and investment in new technologies and its effort to use water for cooperation rather than conflict. While every country has its own peculiar geographical and political factors, Israel's principles of water success innovation, sustainability, and long-term planning are adaptable to addressing the present global water woes and building a more water-secure future. Furthermore, Israel's water success is deeply tied to its integration of cutting-edge technology and data-driven management systems. The country employs sophisticated real-time monitoring networks to track water consumption, detect leaks, and optimize distribution, ensuring minimal losses in the system. Smart irrigation, driven by AI and IoT, has revolutionized agricultural water use, enabling precise control over water delivery based on soil moisture levels and weather patterns. Additionally, Israel's vibrant startup ecosystem continually pushes the boundaries of water technology, developing innovative solutions such as nanofiltration membranes, atmospheric water generators, and AI-powered water conservation tools. These advancements not only bolster Israel's own water security, but also position the nation as a key exporter of water-related technologies, helping other countries combat their own water challenges. Israel's massive water highway is proof that innovation can conquer even the harshest environments. But this is just the beginning. What other game-changing technologies could reshape our world next? If you found this fascinating, hit that like button to support the channel, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe so you never miss an incredible story like this. And don't stop here. Click on the next video on your screen right now to explore more mind-blowing innovations that are shaping our future. See you there.